Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio, this is The Ramsey Show. It's where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life, specifically your money, your work, your relationships. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by Jade Warshaw this hour. We're going to have some fun. The number to jump in is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. 5225. And Jade, it's the last show of this week, but boy, we've had quite a week.
We have.
As we look back on the week, we've had some really great calls about investing and the strategy to win in investments. And that roller coaster. Do I time the market or am I the tortoise, right? To stay on the course. We even had an interesting call about $1,000 in the emergency fund. Is that enough? And you've walked this out. What would you say to somebody? That first baby step. Is $1,000 enough?
You know, you got to remember, this is temporary, Ken.
Yeah, that's
this is not a long-term play. And it's good to have that fire lit under your butt. You know, $1,000, yeah, you're feeling like, ooh, this is not enough. It shouldn't feel like enough. It should make you want to get that $1,000 saved and move so quickly through baby step 2 so that you can have that comfort and that security of baby step 3, the 3 to 6 months saved. So no, it's not going to feel like enough, but it will be.
That's right.
Because, you know, I mean, what's the worst that could happen? You know, something goes out on your car, and then as soon as you have to pull from that, you put it back real quick.
That's right.
It works.
We also had some really interesting relationship money combos, right? Where we've got some spouses that they don't trust each other.
No, man.
And as a result, they're struggling with money. You certainly get that. Interesting call on finding accountability, budgeting as a single person, right? So that's interesting. When I don't have somebody to have that budget meeting, well, it's easy to get tempted and kind of skimp because it's like, well, nobody sees me changing the budget.
Right. Nobody's watching when you go over, you know, and you make that purchase that you're not supposed to make. But you can get the right people in place.
That's right.
Get the right people.
And then how about real estate in this crazy market? We had some calls on real estate. Should you think twice before you buy a fixer-upper? What say you on that one?
You know, I think with this market, if you have the money saved, right, and you're ready to make a down payment, I say get in where you fit in, Ken.
Oh, see, I say I like that, but I would think about it 72 times, not twice. That's all I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Just
if you have the money,
smart.
you have the money, it's like working for my down payment.
Right.
You can always refinance if the interest rates go down.
Okay, look at you.
I'm just saying.
I'd love to see the tool belt that you would rock. You'd probably have like it all bedazzled, is what I suspect.
Ken, are you looking at me right now? Bedazzled.
Well, I'm just saying you bring some flair on the work site. We also had a great call on why you can't mathematically afford rent that's 50% of your home pay. And we teach about those percentages. Why do those percentages matter, Jade?
I mean, we call it house poor, and I think a lot of times people only think about it in terms of their mortgage, but the same principle applies to even if you're renting. I mean, the whole idea is we want you to be able, your biggest wealth building tool is your income, right? So if you're throwing away so much of it, you're going to feel house poor. You're not going to be able to do the things you need to do. Maybe there, in some cases, people are still getting out of debt. Maybe they've worked the steps out of order and they got a house first, or they're just in a bad renting situation. If all your money is tied up like that, man, that's a horrible, horrible place to be. What we teach, Ken, and this is it, 15-year fixed on the houses, and you don't want your payment to be more than 25%. And the same thing applies with renting. No more than 25% of your take-home pay. That's your after-tax dollars all in.
Yeah. Good stuff. And then capping the week, our annual giving show. In 2022 is always powerful stuff. So just a quick kind of rundown of everything we've done this week. That's just a snippet. And wow, good week. And we're going to finish strong today. Taking your calls, 888-825-5225. Chelsea joins us in Des Moines, Iowa. Chelsea, how can we help?
Hi. I just recently paid off $17,500 in student loans, and I'm debt-free.
Hey!
I'm new to investing. I've only ever invested what my dad gave me and told me for the first $500, but then after that, it's on me. I have no idea how to invest. So where do I go from here?
That's awesome, Chelsea. Number one, congrats on paying off the debt. That's amazing. You know we're going to celebrate that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we alarmed you a little bit, but we're very excited.
We're excited. Have you done baby step 3 yet? Do you have the 3 to 6 months set aside?
Yeah, I have 3 to 6 months.
Okay. Do you have 3 months or do you have 6 months?
Like about 5 months.
There you go.
Okay,
Very
that's
nice.
good. That's good. And you're single lady, yeah?
Yeah, single, just renting an apartment.
Just renting an apartment with a job. If you can get it to 6 months, I'd love for you to get it to 6 months first, simply because you're the only person floating your income. And if something were to happen, you know, that's the only income you have. So I'd love for you to get it to 6 months so you're a little bit more secure. And then let's start with baby step 4, like you said, which is putting aside 15%. And, you know, the way we teach it is pretty simplistic. We want you to spread your investments over 4 different categories, okay? Equally spread. So that's 25%. And we're going to do that equally over growth and income stock. You might hear that referred to as large cap. Maybe you've heard that. Then we want you to spread it over growth, which you might hear referred to as medium cap. And then we want you to spread the next 25 over aggressive growth, which is small cap. Okay, so the idea here is we're spreading it around, and then finally 25% to international, or what you might hear. Sometimes they might say emerging markets. It's not quite the same, but international. So the growth and income, those are like your big companies. You know, these are like the big boys. They've been around forever. They've made tons of money. We know they're going to keep making money. It's not really... it's not as much of a risky play, okay? And then you've got your medium cap or your growth companies. And those are ones we know they're doing well and they've still got some room to grow, but we know that they're bringing money in. And then the aggressive growth, right now, that's like your smaller, a lot of tech is aggressive growth because they're like really hitting the ground, startups, they're doing well, but you know, they're a little bit more volatile. So you can see how we want that whole picture of the pie covered so that we're not really putting ourselves out to dry. We're not putting all of our eggs in one basket, right, Ken?
That's right, Chelsea. So what you hear is a philosophy there, and that's what we want that strategy to look like through mutual funds that cover all those stocks that Jay just laid out. So let's start with, what does your company offer? Do they offer a 401k or a match?
No, I'm on my own. I just have my IRA.
Oh,
She's just into her IRA.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so Jade really explained the 4 areas, and the reason we do that, and again, Dave's been teaching that for a very, very long time. And so what we're doing there is we are diversified.
Yes.
And it's a really sound strategy. So what we want you to do now is we want you to go to RamseySolutions.com, and we want you to click on the SmartVestor Pro. And in your area, we want you to sit down with 2 or 3 SmartVestor pros who teach it the way we teach it.
Heart of a teacher.
That's right. They're going to back up what Jay just said. But the reason we want you to meet with multiple is because you want you to feel good about the relationship and the connection there, because this is a relationship. You don't make any moves unless you understand it.
That's right, Ken. But now she does, because she knows how it should be equally spread.
Yeah. It's good stuff. Hey, very exciting, Chelsea. A young lady who's got a great future in her sight because of the financial sacrifice, and now you're ready to win financially, and you're going to do it. Thank you so much for the call. Don't move. More Ramsey Show coming right up.
If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman. I'm joined by Jade Warshaw. And if you're new to Jade, that's okay because she's new to the show and she's crushing it. So excited to have her joining our ranks of being a Ramsey personality. And Jade has lived everything that Dave Ramsey has taught for a long time. So we have a lot of new people coming in and out of this show who may be new to Dave. And we are part of the squad here. And Jade is amazing, so much fun, and rocking some killer kicks. So maybe later in the show, I'll have her do a high kick. We'll see.
I can do one.
She's as cool as the other side of the pillow. And so it is fun. A little shout out to Stuart Scott. Rest in peace. One of the greatest Sports Center anchors of all time. That's one of my favorite phrases. All right. Hey, would you believe that it is possible, Jade, if I told you that in about 15 minutes and for only $10, you could get self-aware to the point that you could truly discover what you wanted to do with the rest of your life? Would you believe me?
If you're telling me, Ken, I believe it.
All right. Well, you can. It's called the Get Clear Career Assessment. I spent years living what is now this assessment and then several years developing it. And it will give you a very clear report on what you do best. That is your talent, which you can turn into skills. It will give you a clear report on what you love to do, work that you look forward to, and really lose track of time when you're doing it. And then finally, it'll show you what motivates you. It's called talent, passion, and mission. And when all three of those intersect, now you know what your work purpose is and ultimately greater purpose to make a great contribution to the world. So this tool is now on sale for only $10. It's normally $30. Now I'm going to tell you something, Jade. I didn't approve this.
That's a big sale. That's a third off.
It's a $30 product we're giving away for $10 for heaven's sakes. But hey, if you want to level up in your income, maybe making a better move in your career is the way to do it. You can go get it right now.
I'm going to take it.
Are you going to take it? You should take it.
I'm going to take it.
And you can also bundle that with my new book, From Paycheck to Purpose, or the Proximity Principle. Go to RamseySolutions.com right now and get the Get Clear assessment for only $10. RamseySolutions.com. So go get it. All right. 888-825-5225 is the number. South Bend, Indiana. David is on the line. David, how can we help?
Hey, Ken. Hey, Jade. How you doing?
What's going on, David?
Just a quick question, or it's kind of based on careers like you were talking about. So I recently got a great opportunity at another company back in April. I was actually really happy where I was, but they weren't quite paying me what I knew I could make with my my education that I have and the experience I have, because I have a Six Sigma black belt. And so this other company gave me a call, offered me $27,000 more a year to come join their team. So of course I did give my employer at the time, the opportunity to make a counter offer. They couldn't match, so I ended up joining the new team. Things were going really good, but then we had some management changes. So long story short, now I'm kind of working as a warehouse analyst. What I do is I just kind of track orders and why we're not getting things to customers on time. And the thing is, now I really don't have any purpose there. I just kind of find out what's going on every day and, let them know what the problem is. And I don't have a problem working for bosses that are younger than me, except the one I do work for now is he's 9 years younger, and he has a lot of experience, a lot of development left in him. And HR was actually hoping that I could help develop him. And you really don't want to take any.
So David, I feel like you're kind of dancing around the issue.
Yeah.
And I think you're trying to be really nice.
Oh yeah.
And I hear two issues, but I really want you to tell me, what is it that you want help with today?
I just don't know what I need to do with my career anymore. It's just I don't feel any purpose.
Yeah, you took a higher paycheck and you got no purpose. The good news is I wrote a book called From Paycheck to Purpose, and I'll give you that. I promise I didn't put him up to that, folks. That's not a paid plug. But the issue is now we got to figure out what we want to do. And then what you're bringing up is adding insult to injury. And the injury is there's no meaning in your work. You got no juice,
right?
Is the way I like to say it. And so now you're going, on top of that, they want you to mentor a kid and you feel like, why am I doing that? I don't even like what I'm doing. And then I got to help a guy who's younger and more inexperienced than I am. And so it's just creating this frustration. Am I right?
Yeah, it's and the other thing is, like, he doesn't really want to take advice from me.
But here's the deal. It's a non-factor. You don't want to be there, correct?
Yeah, you shouldn't be training your boss.
Yeah, this is a disaster.
That makes zero sense.
So we need to come up with an exit strategy. That's really why you called, right? Hey, Ken, help me get out of there, but help me figure out where to get to. Am I right?
Yeah, I would say so, yes.
You would say so? Do you have a couple of ideas of what you would like to do? I mean, you were doing something before.
Continuous improvement. I mean, I love teaching people how to make their job easier.
Okay, but you're not getting to do that in this current role.
And what's that?
You're not getting to do that in this current role, correct?
No.
All right. Were you doing that in your previous role?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a term for folks like you or people that could be you, which is boomerang employees, where they go back to their previous employer. Do you think that's possible?
Their market, they're RVs, so they're actually at a downward spiral right now with the economy. And
okay, so that's not what I'm asking. You don't want to go back there. It's not is it possible, so you don't want to go back there. So the good news is we're going to go back to your previous job and we're going to say, okay, this is what I love to do. I'm essentially leading, but the way that I lead is that I want to be instructing, coaching. That's what I heard in what you said. Is that a true classification for what I think you said?
Yes.
All right. So where can I do that? And it's less about the industry. It doesn't sound like to me there's a certain industry or a product or service that you're fired up about. It sounds like to me you want to be in a leadership position, and the work you want to be spending most of your time on is work where you are guiding, instructing, mentoring, coaching. So that's the job description. And it may not say it that way, but you got to dig into it in the interview process and going, okay, this is my style of leadership, and I want to come in, and this is how I like to lead. And so for you, it's an open field out there. You're not sitting around scratching your head on this. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
How are you feeling right now? What's your confidence level?
But when you put it out that way, I think got a lot more confidence.
There it is. What did we do there? We got clear. So, David, you got to stay in a place of clarity. All right? That was a setup question. I was prepared to deal with it, Jade, if he said he was not confident, but I thought he would be more confident, and he is. And the reason, David, that you're confident, and I'm reviewing this because I want you to get off this phone call, and here's what's going to happen. When you get off this phone call, Jade, I can tell you that fear and doubt will present themselves in the days ahead. Fear is I am worried that something bad is going to happen. Doubt is I don't believe that something good can happen. David, hear me, my friend. When fear and doubt pop up on your shoulder, you've got to go back to this initial conversation right here. And you got to say, here's what I know. I am good at leading, coaching, instructing, and guiding people. Is that a true or false statement?
It's true.
It's true. Now we're going to move to, I love guiding and instructing and leading people. Is that true or false?
That is true.
And then we're going to say, I am motivated to help people win professionally and personally. Is that a true or false statement?
Absolutely.
All right, so what we did, Jay, we just walked through talent.
Love it.
What he does best, passion, what he loves to do, and then mission, what motivates him. So, David, we retreat back to clarity when we are confronted by fear and doubt. And when that happens, now you go, okay, I know why I'm leaving. I know why I'm going over here. And then that will give you the confidence to press forward. And Jade, here's the best part. There's 3 C's. Clarity leads to confidence, and confidence leads to courage.
You're preaching, Ken.
Uh-oh. I might need to take an offering. We'll see. We better. What? Speaking of an offering, we pay the bills through commercials. Got to do some of those, and we'll be right back. Don't move.
Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information.
Welcome back, America. You have joined the conversation here on The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Ramsey personality, Jade Warshaw. And we're having a blast. I'm going to tease this. I don't know when we're going to do it, at some point today. But
okay.
We got the cool shoes on today. We didn't know. And we'll just the shoe game with Jade, folks. Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. I don't know if I'm going to get to that, but I'll tell you what I do want people to do is follow you on Instagram at Jade Warshaw.
Okay.
WARSHAW. And do you ever show your shoe game on Insta?
Sometimes I do. I did a giveaway last week, Ken.
I saw that.
We gave away a pair of Jordan 1 Lost and Found.
Well, and I got jealous about it. I sit about 15 feet from me, and I got all nosy, and I started getting a little weepy and mopesy.
Hey, I tried to send you a Michigan pair.
I'm going to get it. Okay. Sam hit me up at the party the other night about it, too. I'm feeling the pressure
ghosted.
all of a sudden.
I felt ghosted. I'm just letting you know.
No. But anyway, but you need to follow her on Instagram. That's a good follow.
I would love that.
Okay, so it is time for our Blinds.com question of the day. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
All right, let's read today's question. It comes from Carter in Washington. He says, I'm dealing with a tricky situation and I don't know how to approach it. I'm 21 years old and in my first year of working for Boeing, the income system works where I start at $20 an hour and at the 6-year mark, I will shoot up to $42 an hour. The problem is my father, who essentially runs a factory for Boeing and can get me straight into the management starting at $60 an hour. But he thinks that this is ill-advised because I don't know my business yet and haven't built a foundation through Boeing yet. I feel like if I become a manager now, my projected future could be so much better financially. Management is salary, so you can be laid off, whereas my current job is union. He wants me to max out the union first, then shoot to management, so if I get laid off, I can go back to a maxed out union job. How do I navigate this?
Oh, Carter. Slow down, young grasshopper. That's the gist of my advice. I mean, it's like me saying, I'd like to make $10 million now, Jade.
Well, duh.
Because it will allow me to do so many more things right now, Jade.
Yeah.
I want $10 million now. Well, you know what? I wanted to be able to dunk a basketball. All right. Mm-hmm. I wanted to play pro basketball. Well, I'm 5'8" and can't jump over paper. All right. So we have some issues there. So the idea here is while I'm limited in my height and athletic and vertical leap ability.
Vertically challenged.
Yeah, in more than one way, with the height and the ability to jump. And quite frankly, it couldn't hit the 3 under pressure. But I digress. The point is that you're young. You're starting out. It's your first year. Make it $20 an hour, bro.
That ain't bad.
Dude, are you kidding me?
That ain't bad.
That's great money.
My first job was $5.15 an hour.
Come on.
Working at Kroger.
I'm the old guy. $4.25 an hour.
Oh!
Yeah, in a greenhouse in Virginia in the summer. Holy moly.
Ooh.
And I was so little back then, I had to run around in the shower to get wet. I didn't have much fluid to lose. And you're sweating like, it was crazy. It was horrible. My friend, your dad's right. Don't pressure your dad. I hope your dad has the constitution to say no to you, to say, slow down, son.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. You need to earn it. and you said it in your question, I just don't have a foundation, and you don't. You don't have any experience, and you have limited skill. So pay it now. Pay it now. Pay your dues. Pay it now, and then the next will take care of itself. So that's the extent of my advice there. Jade, anything you want to add to that? I mean, you were a very successful entertainer before you got here. You know what it's like to pay your dues.
You got to pay your dues. You know, if you try to sprint and soar straight to the top, you're going to run into so many situations that you haven't learned how to handle yet. And in the end, you could end up falling on your face. Yeah. It's way better to just, like you said, pay your dues, and because you learn so much as you go, and you cannot skirt that process. Don't try to skirt it.
Mm-hmm. All right, Brittany's up in Raleigh, North Carolina. Brittany, how can we help?
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call. So basically, I moved to Raleigh, North Carolina this past March from Pennsylvania. And I'm ready to call Raleigh my home, and my lease is going to be up this coming March. The thing about it is I only have about $15,000 saved. I have no debt. And whenever I'm out looking at these homes, my monthly payment after all the fees and everything's been added in is about $2,000. And I make $4,200 a month. And it's almost half of that's like half of my pay a month. So I'm wondering, do I rent another year somewhere cheaper, or do I go in and buy something?
Well, I mean,
I'm not
with the scenario that you described, which thank you for giving me all that information. So you've got the $15K saved up. We don't have any other debt, which is great. Congratulations for paying off that debt. Do you have 3 to 6 months saved outside of this $15K? Because the way we look at it is you've got baby step 3, which is the 3 to 6 months, and then you've got the 3B where you're saving for your home. So I want to make sure that the $15K isn't all the money that you have in the world.
It's all my savings.
Okay. Well, it's a great savings, but let's call that your 3 to 6 months. Does that fit into your 3 to 6 months category? Is that enough money for 3 to 6 months of expenses? Or would you need more?
I probably would need more.
Okay. So what I want to get you to, Brittany, is to the most optimal place where you can buy. And it doesn't sound like you're there. Even if you did have another 3 to 6 months saved up and you had this $15K, it's not enough for you because your payment would still be $2K. And like you said, that's it's almost 50% of your take home, which would make you house poor at that time. So I do think, if you get back into your lease, what are you paying? What are you paying a month now?
17.
Oh, so you're not much under it. All right.
No, and I've been doing fine. But I just I wouldn't want to go much higher. So I have my boyfriend that helps me pay too, but he's already shown me he's not totally reliable. So I'm going into this.
Yeah, you don't want to depend on that.
This, as if it's by myself.
So what's the cost of a home in Raleigh, North Carolina that is conservative based on you being single? So let's just start there and back into this. Mm-hmm. How much would that cost? What are you looking at?
It's about $300,000.
All right. And so based on, again, what Jade, you would teach on the 15-year mortgage.
Yep, 15-year fixed mortgage.
You start running those numbers, just a ballpark. Have you done that on today's interest rates? There's calculators out there. We've got one at RamseySolutions.com. And you begin to see, okay, what would it look like to have a 15-year, and what kind of down payment? We want to say minimum 20%, right?
We want 20%. This is her first time home buy. If she does 20%, she's going to avoid PMI, your private mortgage insurance. But on a first time, if it's a little bit less, that's all right. Gotcha. I would do for sure, Brittany, more than 5% or higher, because we want to make sure that we're not. That we're ahead of the game when we get into it.
Well, the whole point of this, Brittany, is to get a number. What does a down payment need to be? Because here's the deal. At the $15,000 you've got saved up, you're close to your 3 to 6 months. Right. You're really close based on what your take home is.
But we don't want her, your emergency fund is not your down payment.
No, I know that. Mm-hmm. I'm saying she's got to finish the 3 to 6 months, but she's close.
Yes, Ken is right.
Then the next thing is 3B. And so I want you to have a really clear picture of what that number is. Mm-hmm. So if it's $30,000 or whatever the number is, So you're closer than you realize, but you got to have clarity on what that number is because you're close to finishing baby step 3. Then it's, all right, I'm going all in. I'm going to get that down payment. So you are, however long it's going to take you to get that down payment is how long you're going to be renting.
I also want to know, Brittany, are you on a trajectory for your income to increase?
Possibly something in April might happen.
Okay, let's work on that too.
Yeah,
let's work on getting that income up for a couple of reasons, because it sounds like you're going to be renting a lot longer, not a lot longer, but longer than you want. And of course, it's already upwards, close to that 50% mark. Let's try to get that income up. Let's start saving for baby step 3B. And you already know this, but we're not depending on the old boyfriend, because we're not going to combine our finances in that way.
He needs to put a ring on it if we're depending on anything.
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying?
If he likes it, then he should have put a ring on it. That's what Beyonce said.
There it is. You say it so much better.
I could have sang it.
You could have. She is Jade Warshaw. I'm Ken Coleman. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show, where we talk about your life, specifically your money, your work, and your relationships. I'm Ken Coleman, joined this hour by my colleague Jade Warshaw, and we are having a blast taking your calls. The phone number to jump in is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Jeff joins us in Cincinnati, Ohio. Jeff, how can we help?
Hi. Thank you guys for taking my call, and welcome to the show, Jade.
Thank you so much.
My question, of course, yeah. My question is, I'm currently considering changing career paths, and just wanted to see if now's a good time to take that risk, given everything that's going on in the economy, or if I should kind of take my grandma's advice and just be grateful for what I have and kind of continue on the path I'm on now.
Oh, I think we have some narrative issues. I suspect there are some narrative issues in your question. So what is the move that you want to make that you think might be a risk?
So I'd be leaving an CPA job for a financial analyst in real estate.
Okay. And what is the supposed or known risks from moving from CPA to financial analyst, if I can talk, in the real estate world?
Yeah, I mean, I know that real estate's very up and down and can kind of go through cycles. And I know from my understanding and my experience that being a CPA is relatively one of the safer jobs.
Right. Is there a real estate company in your area that you've got targeted that you would love to work for?
I have a couple, yeah. Okay. And I do real estate on the side as an agent.
Okay.
And I've enjoyed that quite a lot.
Okay, good. Well, so we did see, let's call it about 3 or 4 months ago, Redfin, a major real estate organization, laid off a bunch of people. Certainly we are seeing what is a housing recession. There's no question about that. So the real estate market is cooled. And so there could be more layoffs there. But just because that's a headline doesn't mean that's a reality in Cincinnati. So because you know those two companies, if it were me, I would be making connections with people over there, not applying yet, but making connections. If I know somebody over there or I know somebody that knows somebody over there, I'd be finding out what kind of financial situation are they in? Do they have a good outlook? Are they in a hiring freeze? Are they hiring right now? I just wouldn't rely on the headlines. That would be the first step. Have you done that?
I have, and they are hiring and continuing to hire, yeah.
Well, my friend, I got to tell you, see, risk to me is a loaded word. I think there are levels of risk, right? So I would say low risk, medium risk, high risk to keep it simple. Do you think that this is a high risk move for you if you were to move over into that world?
I guess it's not necessarily the high risk. It's just the unknown that's maybe concerning me.
I got news for you. The unknown exists for everybody, even CPAs. Your CPA job isn't as safe as grandma thinks it is.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Think about it. So here's the point. If you have the skill and if you have the passion for it, I'd say go now. But I mean, there's no risk here. We're not jumping off of a cliff. We're literally moving from one boat to the next boat here. And you should do it with 2 feet and just kind of step. We're not jumping. I don't think that the risk is that high, and I think you have to go further into the process, and let's go interview. Let's walk all the way through it. Remember, the interview process is just as much for you, Jeff, as it is for them, and you can ask good questions. You can dig in a little bit more, but I think the real estate market is here to stay. I don't think it's doom and gloom at all. I think it's slowed down, and but I think it's going to pick back up. I think you're going to be fine.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate that. And I've taken your Get Clear assessment as well, and that was very helpful.
Did it validate the work you want to do?
100% it did, yeah.
All right, then. So here's the deal. I'll leave you with this. Years ago, I had the opportunity to interview Jim Collins, the great
Good to
thought
Great
leader, wrote Good to Great, Built to Last. And I was asking him about these type of decisions. I was like, the unknown. The fear of the unknown is a big deal. And I was asking him his thoughts, and he basically said this. He said he was teaching a business class, Jade, at one point, and at the end of the class, a young man came up to me and said, hey, I've got two opportunities that I'm looking at, and I want your advice. One is I go work for a major public company, all the things that come with that, big brand, all the things, right?
Okay.
Or I go start my own thing that I've always wanted to do, and I can start it from scratch now. And Colin said to him, he said, well, you're asking that question in a way that leads to people thinking that the automatic decision is the guaranteed salary and all the things with the big company.
Right.
But he looked at the young man and said, you have no idea what's going on with management there. And they could do one thing and it could kill the stock price. And then everybody gets laid off. And maybe the company like Enron goes completely, like in a matter of days, to zero. And he said to the young man, he said, but you control your future.
Oh, come on.
When you go do your thing. And he said, it's like paint by numbers. Remember when we were little kids? You got little ones.
Oh, yeah, they have paint by numbers.
The paint by numbers is fantastic. Green on 2, blue on 3, whatever.
Yep.
And that is what we seek sometimes because it feels like safety. Tell me what to do, when to do it, where to do it.
It feels more secure.
And yet, our best future many times is when we just take a blank canvas and we paint our picture.
Oh, I can attest to that. When Sam and I came out of school, with music degrees, it was like, okay, who can we go work for? Where can we go do this? And after a while, it was like, I think we can create our own thing and create more security for ourselves. And it really just depends on the person.
And by the way,
not saying everybody's entrepreneurial,
but you did.
We did.
Explain it. I want people to hear that story.
Well, what we did is we started out working for a company, and I felt controlled, and I thought, you know what, I can do this myself. And so that looked before we were contracted to do other people's shows. Yeah. And I was like, I don't want to do other people's shows. I want to do my own show. So Sam and I got together and we started creating, and then we started shopping it out. It's about, again, knowing the right people, forming those relationships and saying, here's my product. I think it can really value you, and I think we can serve you in this way. And I say all the time, you've got to approach the market from an attitude of servitude. This is how I can help you. Yeah. This is how, and of course you're going to be helping yourself as well. That's just a byproduct. But when you serve people well, the byproduct is you're going to make money.
That's right.
If you set your prices right. And so that's what we did. And then that migrated into the next thing. It started with us doing shows. And then we thought, man, we can help more people by us getting jobs for them.
Yeah.
So we started a talent agency after that. And we said, all right, we're going to put other musicians that want to do their own thing and find work for them. So I think that when you start out, it feels overwhelming because you've got this blank canvas there.
Did it feel risky at the time? And if it did, on what level?
It didn't. It felt riskier to not do it.
Oh,
it felt riskier not to.
I love that because we got to unpack that. What were you risking had you not done that? Now that you're on the other side.
I think, and I'm not, again, everybody might not be this entrepreneurial path, but for me and for Sam, I know we had a vision for something we wanted. And by not doing that, we were forsaking our own vision. If we had said, you know what, it's too risky, it's too hard. And here's the thing. I gave you the short version. We made plenty of mistakes along the way. We did one thing where we invested a bunch of our own cash and tried to get these other shows up and running, and it fell flat on its face. So I'm not negating the failure aspect of it because that's the part that everybody fears.
Yeah, but you kept moving forward. You got to
keep going. You got to keep going because I can honestly say and look back and go, all right, no regrets.
Yeah. That's the word.
No regrets.
All right. So I think what you and Sam were risking and what Jeff risks, and we all risk, if we do not do the thing that we know we're supposed to do, it's regret. We risk getting to the end of our life.
Yes.
And looking back with soul-crushing regret.
And even
I want to get to the end and reminisce.
even not the end of the life. Ken, you got to be able to sleep tonight.
Well, there's
You
that
got to
too.
be able to sleep at night,
Come
you
on.
know? And I
agree.
mean,
I agree with that.
of course, you get to the end of your life, but a lot of us, we
Well, yeah.
tossing and turning tonight because we're in a situation.
Well, that's right. But the idea is we're risking regret. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you something. You want to truly find the definition of unhappiness?
Ooh,
It's regret.
it definitely is. And oh yeah.
You know? And so I love this. Jeff, listen. Jeff, now's the time. And Jeff, let's play this out. Because Jade was right. There was failure in her story, failure in my story. Good gracious.
I know, right?
Talking about when I started in broadcasting at 33, I can tell you all kinds of stories. But I'll tell you this. You will always be moving forward, even if it doesn't work out. If you
Ooh.
take this gig and it doesn't work out, you've moved forward.
Yes.
Now we may need to pivot left or pivot right, but we're still moving forward. So, Jeff, the answer is yes, do it. Switch today, now. Seize the moment. Take it and take a step forward with boldness and watch what happens.
Love it.
Jade Warshaw, great hour. Always good to be with you, my friend. I want to thank James and the crew behind the glass for keeping us on the air. And mostly America, we want to thank you. This is your show. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from The Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio, this is The Ramsey Show. It's where America hangs out to have a conversation about life, specifically money, work, and relationships. I'm Ken Coleman, joined this hour by Jade Warshaw. We're taking your calls. We're up here for you, and you matter deeply. We want to get you some clarity, some hope, and some breakthrough today. 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Jade, you ready to roll?
I'm ready. Let's rock. Let's
All right.
roll.
Before we do, I do want to tell all you fine folks that are listening or watching, if this show is encouraging you, entertaining you, equipping you in any way, we need you. You are the greatest marketing tool in the world. Word of mouth. So would you share the show, review the show, subscribe to the show, however and wherever you listen? That would do us a huge favor. We want as many people as possible to know there's a positive, safe place to have a conversation about moving ahead in the most important areas of your life. Thank you for considering that. This is fun. Let's go across the pond, shall we?
Ooh.
London, England, where Franklin is joining us. Franklin, how can we help?
Hi. So I was born and raised outside of the States, just to give you a background. And essentially, I don't have any kind of credit history in the States, but I'm moving to the States in a couple of months for work. Mm-hmm. And I essentially wanted to find out how best to build my credit score as quickly as possible for, obvious reasons why you need a great credit score, and the fact that I'm looking to get into real estate investing, and so I just wanted to get any tips that you would have in this regard.
That's cool. Franklin, thanks for calling. Are you familiar with The Ramsey Show? Are you kind of like a first-time listener? How'd you find us?
So I listen occasionally. I haven't, streamed it or called in or listened live.
Yeah.
It's mostly YouTube videos and on Instagram and essentially snippets of it all over the internet.
Okay. Well, on here we teach things a little bit differently. We teach to get rid of the credit system and to get yourself as far from the need of a credit score and credit as possible. Our whole thing here is paying off your debt so that you don't have to, in building up money so that your credit score doesn't matter. So I just want to take a moment and kind of give you that foundation, because if you're kind of listening here and there, you might not have the whole picture. So I kind of want to give you that picture so that you don't feel like I'm coming after you, because it might sound like I'm coming after you a little bit, Franklin, but I'm not. I just want you to kind of see where I'm coming from. So we believe that the debt score, or the credit score, I should say, is nothing more than a I love debt score. It's basically measuring how you interact with debt. It has nothing to do with how much money you actually have. And I think that, Franklin, you coming over here to the United States, the whole point is you want to create this life. You want to make sure the money is good and the money is flowing. But the credit score has nothing to do with that. So the way we teach is that the best way to financial peace is like this, a series of baby steps. All right. The first baby step, you're getting $1,000 saved. The second baby step is you're paying off all of your debt except your house. The third baby step after that is you're saving 3 to 6 months of finances. And then you go on to investing, baby step 4, and on up to baby step 7, where you're giving generously, you're buying real estate in cash, you're doing all these wonderful things. So I think that right now we're not having a meeting of the minds. So I can't tell you what to do, and I won't tell you what to do to improve your credit score, but I will tell you what to do to improve your relationship with money and to manage your money to the optimal degree. Does that sound all right?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
I guess, and maybe this is jumping too far ahead, but I guess my question would be, if you're, because I'm kind of learning the ropes as to real estate investing, and one thing I've come to understand is if you want to do deals, a lot of deals as quickly as possible, it's not very practical to save, a lot of money.
Sure it is. Yes. It is. Look, we're trying to get you to a point of building wealth with as less risk as possible. And I know there's a lot going out there, zero down, all these different ways to purchase real estate. But that's not the best path. And it's the path that's filled with the most landmines. All right. And we're trying to get you there peacefully. We're trying to get you there safely. And here's the thing, Franklin, you're going to do what you want to do on this, but you called us. And so we're going to tell you that if you're purchasing real estate outside of your personal primary residence, that you need to pay cash for it and save up to pay cash for it. And if you follow the baby steps, you will be able to do that. How old are you?
I'm 31 now.
Dude, you're young. Let's work these baby steps and let's work them in order. You're coming over here. When you come over here, what's the plan? Are you, do you have debt now?
No, I don't.
No debt now. Do you have 3 to 6 months saved up?
Yes, I do.
You do. Excellent.
What's the professional goal when you get here?
He wants to be in real estate.
So the real estate thing is going to be my side hustle. Right. I'm currently a lawyer.
Okay.
And I'll be working.
So you'll be working as a lawyer, yes?
And what's the income?
Somewhere along in the 6 figures.
Well, that could be anything.
Could be specific. Yeah. I mean, that could be 150 or 950.
Yeah. Where
Give me
a
ballpark.
It's just below 200.
Okay.
All right. So here's what I wanted to say on this, because Jay's absolutely right. But Franklin, if I told you that I had a strategy for you to build a house, this is a house you're going to live in the United States, and I told you that I had a strategy that would allow us to build the house in 30 days, like really fast, but it was risky. Would you be in for that plan?
I might.
No, that's why you're laughing. Come on, man. It's okay to say you painted me in a corner, Ken. Would you be up for that strategy, Franklin? This is your house.
No, I wouldn't.
That's what Jade's telling you. You watch all these Instagram videos of people saying, hey, you can get in and make all this money. That's the quick plan, but it's also crazy risky. Am I right, Jade?
Oh, Ken,
that's what I'm trying to help him see what you're saying here.
Absolutely.
This is a side hustle. Why would you take on something, Franklin, that is so risky when you can do it the right way on the side? And as a lawyer, you've got no cap to your income.
Right.
That's what I'm telling you. Jade has laid it out for you.
If you work these steps, you're going to be able to do this, Franklin.
Oh, man.
Keep going. I mean, you've done it all. You've paid off your debt. You've got that 3 to 6 months. Man, just start saving to pay cash. You've got a good income. The American dream, debt freedom. That's the American dream. You're coming over here, I'm letting you know, that's the dream. The dream is not having a bunch of real estate debt.
I'm telling you, laying it out there. All right, now coming up next, we're going to get to more of your calls, and we'll reveal what Jade and I got right today about our outfits and didn't know. Well, that's coming up. Don't move. This is The Ramsey Show.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show, where we talk to you about your life, specifically your money, your work, and your relationships. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by Jade Warshaw. And this is kind of fun today. We had a little bit of a switch. Our good friend, George Camel with a K, a little under the weather today.
Oh, man.
Didn't feel like he could go. He was a game time decision.
Ooh, it was.
And we got the email moments before I was wrapping up the Ken Coleman Show. And I got the email. You'll be joining Jade Warshaw. And to be honest with you, since George is not here, I don't mind saying this is a real upgrade for me. And so, no, I love George. But really excited, Jade Warshaw. If you're new to Jade or new to the show, she's our newest Ramsey personality. She's an absolute friggin' rock star. And she's a great cook. And she has a great story. And then on top of all of those greats,
Ken,
she's got great shoe wear. And I get a lot of grief around here for my attention to clothing and shoes. And so the point is that we didn't know we were going to be on the air together today. We're both rocking the monochromatic look.
We are.
I got the all gray on head to toe. You're all black head to toe.
All black.
But it's the footwear.
Come on, Ken. Don't make me put my foot on this table, because I'll do it.
You're younger than me. For the listening audience, they can't see. These are the classic Air Jordans. Our viewing audience can see those things right there. I believe I can fly.
Woo!
Yeah, there it is, folks.
That's it.
That wasn't bad for not practicing.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
Was I on key?
Yes.
Okay, that was very
it.
Intimidating. All right, so I'll show my kicks.
Let's see these. What is this?
Oh, wait a second.
Well, they are Nike. These came from Forrest Gump.
Notice the socks too. Huh?
I think these were the shoes that Forrest Gump was wearing when he was running across the country.
Thank you, Jade. Thank you. I don't know if that's an insult, but we'll take it. It's good. But we got the cool kicks on today.
Oh yeah, I once saw you wear all white.
Oh, been known to do that many times.
And I said, this guy, this is a different guy right here.
This one swaggy dude is what you really thought. No?
Smoother than a fresh jar of Skippy.
Wow. I'm going to take the rest of the day off. I don't even know what that means. Hey, I will say this. One little fashion tip, and this is for men and women. Monochromatic is a win. I'm going to tell you why. It points to the shoes. So you got to wear good shoes if you're going to go monochromatic, because it's like a giant arrow pointing down to the accessory. So the reason we both have those shoes, see, maybe you haven't thought through this, but I have. The monochromatic outfit points to the shoe.
Ken, do you know who you're talking to?
I'm
course
sorry.
I thought through
I've now somehow offended you. Don't slap me.
Well, let me tell you what else you need to think through when you're picking out your clothes.
What?
Is it in the budget?
Oh. Now, you get these shoes on a budget, don't you?
I do. You know, my husband resells Jordans, so sometimes people see me wear shoes and they're like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, y'all don't understand. I didn't pay. Like, I didn't have to pay like that. But you got a budget for this stuff. And don't go broke for a label. Please do not go broke for a label, people.
No. No, you got the envelope. You got to put it in the line item.
Yep.
But just because you're on a budget doesn't mean, I'm speaking to guys only right now.
Yeah.
You can't look like a bum.
No.
All right?
Oh,
Please.
you better not show up looking like a bum.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. All right,
'Cause-
there it is. We're ready to get to the phones. Joe is on the line in Jersey City, New Jersey. Joe, how can we help?
Hey, Ken. Hey, Jade. How are you guys?
We're doing
having
good.
a blast, as you can tell. What's going on?
Well, I just wanted to say, Ken, great stuff as always, and Jade, congratulations and good luck.
Hey, thanks, Joe.
Yeah, so my question is, now that the market has kind of gone, wayward over the last few years with the pandemic and everything, and inflation and cost of living and all that has kind of gone up in almost the entire country. Just wondering, has Dave considered the starter emergency fund to go up maybe to like $1,500 or $2,000 because some of the prices for things like a hot water heater or transmission or whatever might be more expensive than it used to be when he wrote the book originally and started this plan?
Now, this is funny, Jade. This is like, does the emergency fund, baby step 1, need an inflationary adjustment? Very thoughtful question. What say you?
Well, whose side are you on here, Ken?
What? I didn't take a side. I just said it's a very interesting question.
It is.
Everything else is being adjusted for inflation. I think it's a thoughtful question.
It is a thoughtful question. And here's where I'm going to approach this, because you're not the first person to ask this, Joe, and I'm sure you're not going to be the last person to ask that question. But what we have found is that when we teach for folks to get $1,000 saved, most people, and I mean, the statistics will tell you that 56% of Americans cannot afford a $1,000
That's right.
emergency.
Wow.
And we actually did a study on the state of personal finance, and it told us that 36% of Americans actually have $0. Zero. Some might call it a goose egg. No money saved. So if you have $1,000, do you know what that's called, Joe? That's called winning at life. Because most people just don't have it. So where I can understand the mindset, because trust me, I have kids, we got cars, there's a lot that can go wrong, and I understand that. But understanding what the averages are and understanding what the actual truth of the matter is, which is most folks don't have any money saved. If they have an emergency, they're going straight to their credit cards. All right. And they're taking an emergency and just turning it into a even bigger problem with zeros on the end. And so what we're trying to teach is an accessible way for you to plan for emergencies. And we've found that $1,000 is something that if you bust your butt and get it saved, it's actually enough to float you through. Now, here's the thing. It's not intended to feel like, all right, I've made it in life. I can just sit back and put my feet up, put my Jordans up on the desk, right?
There it is.
That's not what it's for. We want you to feel that anxiety, not anxiety, but we want you to feel that feeling of, I got to get out of this. Like, this is not where I want to stay. And that should light your fire to get through baby step 2 so that you can have that 3 to 6 months and have that cushy feeling and that wonderful feeling of security. How does that sit with you, Joe?
No, that's fine. You know what it is? I'm kind of getting started with the baby steps. I've known about it for a while, but the wife and I would trying to come to understanding and agreement on how to go about it. And so basically, we haven't even just talked about this step number 1, but I know that my wife might feel more comfortable, as Dave always talks about, the security gland. That is going to come up, and I think I just want to have an idea as to what would be said.
Hey, Joe.
I presented the whole baby steps to her, and she kind of likes it. But
yeah. Let me ask you a question. How much debt do you have to pay off?
Quite a bit. I got about, my wife has under her name, but it's ours. Obviously, I understand that. It's about just under 100,000, I think, in student loans, and then we have about maybe another 30-ish in credit card or consumer debt.
Okay.
Consumer debt.
So I want to address your wife's comfort gland because you're bringing up a very good point, and you're going to have to communicate this. She's got to be on board. So I want to give you just something from a husband's point of view on that conversation. So let's just forget for the moment the $100,000 in student loan debt, and let's look at the credit card debt or consumer debt of $30,000. Okay, if you were to pay off 1 or 2 of those credit cards, okay, how much money would that bring back to your budget? So in other words, how much are you paying out on the $30,000? What would you say? Ballpark figure of the $30,000, not student loan. How much are you paying out each month in minimums or whatever?
Oh well, without the mortgage, it's about like 1,500.
All right,
on
that's what I'm looking for
on mine. Yeah.
All right, so my point is, if you guys got really intense and you paid off $30,000, that's $1,500 a month that you don't have to put out. You understand what I'm saying? It's a mental game. Now, we want you putting that money into the student loan, so you're going to debt snowball this thing, but I'm just trying to help her see. We're going to have more
You
of
have
our
more
own
than you think.
You got more than you think once we pay off some of the debt. So the safety gland needs to be focused on, we need to build up some protection, and the protection is not the savings. The protection is getting rid of the debt. I'm not trying to play mind games with you and your wife, but she needs to understand why we need to be all in on this. Jay.
Yeah. Have you guys done Financial Peace University?
I went through. I did some of the classes. I haven't gone through fully, and my wife is going through it soon.
Yeah, I want you guys to go through that together, and that's going to get her on the same page with you, because that's key. If you want to get this debt paid off, you want her to be on the same page. Financial Peace will teach you how to do that.
Good stuff. Thanks for the call. You guys can get there, Joe. Hang in there. All right, she's Jade Warshaw. I'm Ken Coleman. This is The Ramsey Show. More coming right up. This is The Ramsey Show, where we talk about your life, specifically your money, your work, and your relationships. I'm Ken Coleman. I'm joined by my colleague, Jade Warshaw. This hour, 888-825-5225 is the phone number to jump in, 888-825-5225. Jade, I got to get something off of my chest here.
Oh, boy.
And curious to know your thoughts on this. Yeah, this is going to be a little spicy, particularly for men. So, dudes, you're just going to have to handle this because I'm coming at you.
This is a big buildup.
Well, it's distressing. Headline that I looked at, and it's coming from a new study from the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. Men are dropping out of the labor force because they're upset about their social status. I'm just going to let that sit for a second. I don't know that I've read a more pathetic headline in my lifetime. I'm going to say it again. I want you to hear what it really is saying. The headline is, men are dropping out of the labor force because they're upset about their social status. What it should say is, men are quitting because it's not going the way they want it to.
Oh, man.
I'm not making as much money as the other guy. So I'm going to go home and live off of mom and dad. You snowflake. You wimp. What is happening here? All right, now, before I go further into data, I got to take 30 seconds on this. And some of you are going to say, oh, you're old school or you're a boomer. Well, number one, yes, I am old school. Number two, I'm not a boomer. I'm a proud member of Generation X, whatever the crap that means. I've never understood what that means. But let me tell you something. You know where this starts? It's a total generation, where we tried to make everybody feel good, and we gave everybody a trophy or a participation ribbon for showing up. And I got news for you people. This is what happens when we try to make everybody feel good and we try to avoid having them feel the sting of loss. I got news for you. There's first place, and then there's loser. I'm just being honest.
You ain't first, you're last.
Well, but listen, you say, well, kid, what about the Olympics? They got the gold medal, the silver medal, the bronze medal. Oh, these are Olympians who work really hard. Mm-hmm. We should acknowledge first, second, third place. But in youth soccer, when the score is 5-0, I got news for you, little buddy. You lost. You lost 5-0. And by the way, the 5-year-olds know. These kids are smart enough to realize that the ball went in the other team, went in our net twice, and we haven't even sniffed the other side of the field.
And you want to know what, Ken? They can handle it.
They can, Jade.
They can handle it. These kids are resilient.
But these dudes can't.
And that's a shame.
Now listen, folks. Here's the data. The study found that the decline in earnings for non-college educated men over the last 4 decades has increased their likelihood of leaving the labor force by nearly half a percentage point. Now, this might hurt some of your feelings, but I can say this. Younger white men in particular were more likely to leave when their expected wages fell relative to their more educated peers. But while the white men are wussing out, turns out the ladies aren't, Jade.
Whew, tell us.
Women have not seen the same level of decline in their wages based on education.
Wow.
That group has seen a 32% increase in weekly earnings. Now, there's 2 things I want to get at. First, we have a culture that has created this context. What do I mean? Very simple. We have for decades said that the college diploma is the most desirable way to live a life. In other words, if I have a college degree, I'm going to be more successful. And so the numbers have borne out that way because companies play the game too.
Right.
Oh, well, you don't have a degree. But the bigger problem is we have men that are leaving the workforce altogether. They are taking their ball and going home. You didn't pick me, so I'm going to go home, and mommy's going to make me feel better and cut me a PB&J sandwich and let me play on the video games all day long. I'm telling you, that's what's happening.
Ooh.
I'm just keeping it real.
Not my sons, Ken. Not my sons.
I know better than that.
And not my brothers. Because if I heard
boys.
that...
You know what? And here's what needs to happen. Here's the fix. There's not a policy in the world that's going to fix this.
Yeah.
This is a social problem. And I'm trying to have a little bit of fun with it, but I'm making a key point. If you are a family member, if you are a mom or dad, a grandparent, a brother, a sister, a cousin, a good friend, and you are harboring, and I'm using that word on purpose.
Yeah.
You are harboring a wussified dude who's got his feelings hurt and refuses to go work and be a productive member of society. It is incumbent upon you to kick their butt out.
Okay.
I'm just telling you, it's a problem.
Ken, give me some DAP.
I don't even know what that means, but I'll do it. What's the DAP?
The DAP is I'm with you. I'm with you, heart
exciting.
and spirit.
See, folks,
right?
I'm getting cooler by the minute. All right. Now I'm going to go home and do that with my 17-year-old kid. He's going to roll his eyes so hard they fall out of his head. What do you think about what I just said? And I'm not looking for approval.
No,
this
not
is
at
a
all.
societal problem.
It reminds me of, okay, I mentioned earlier, Sam and I have a talent agency, and we book talent all around the world.
Yeah.
And to get the job, there's a series of protocols you have to follow. And I find, Ken, because America's the greatest country.
I would
agree. It goes
agree.
without saying, but it's cushy up in here.
Very cushy.
It's cushy.
You nailed
in comparison to some other countries.
That's right.
And what we find is that if we're hunting talent in, let's say, the Philippines or India, where life in some areas is not as cushy, when we tell them this is what you have to do to get the job, they do that thing lickety-split.
And don't ask questions.
Jumping jack flash. They get that thing done. Whereas some of the counterparts who are here in the States, they could be a better player. They could be better at the job, but they don't feel that they should have to do.
Yep.
And so they sleep on it. And I'm like, now, wait a minute now. What's going on? The job is the job. But I think what happens is you get cushy. You start having entitlement. You start having this I deserve mentality. And I think the I deserve mentality can be, it can be the beginning of the end for some people.
It is, and you've nailed it. So you all so for those of you that rolled your eyes and laughed at my whole thing about a trophy, but see, this keeps getting, it keeps getting supported throughout where I show up and I'm rewarded for showing up.
Just for showing up.
As opposed to getting rewarded for accomplishing.
Right.
And here's what happens. These men are falling out of the workforce because they look at the competition and they're getting beat. And instead of rising up and going, all right, I'll get you next round. You know what they do? They go, I'm just leaving altogether. You know why?
Yeah.
Because they've been protected from failure.
That's right.
And failure, best I can tell, Jade, with every successful woman or man in the history of the universe, failure is what propelled them forward. You can't learn to ride a bike without wrecking a bike.
It's necessity.
And I'm telling you, we have protected our kids from failure, and as a result, they've got no grit. So what happens is we coddle them until they get to the real world. They fail, they feel like a failure because he's making more money than I am.
Right.
And so they don't know what to do because they've got no grit.
They don't know how to act. If you find anybody who's successful, and I'm not talking about at the very top. I'm not talking about the Michael Jordans. I'm talking about Ken Coleman. If I talk to you, a successful man, good at marriage, good at their job, you will list out. You could probably make a whole computer list of all the ways that you didn't get the trophy, all the things that you endeavored at and failed at.
Hey, I got told by a program director in Atlanta, second year into the chase, folks. Guy looked at me and said, I don't know why you're trying to get on this sports talk station. This is a number 8 market. And he said this, I'll never forget. He said, Ken, you don't have the talent to make it in a number 8 market.
Oh, yeah. I've been there.
Let me tell you something. I did, and I do, and here I am.
Come on, son.
But listen, it hurt.
I know it did.
I'm having a little bit of fun, but I'm not puffed up. I'm telling you, I went home, and it rocked my world to hear that from that dude.
Yeah.
But somewhere in the next 48 to 72 hours, I had to decide.
Come on, it's about what you do next.
What am I going to do?
Come on.
Nobody's going to hand you anything, Snowflake. Like, you got to get out and take it.
It's like that old trick when it's like you get ready to open the door and then they drive forward again. And you try to open the door, they drive again. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I talk about this all the time to my boys, and they're sick of me saying it, but, I'm trying to teach my kids, you're in a competition. And if you don't think you're in a competition, I got bad news for you. You're getting your head beat in, and you don't even know it. You're competing against the you of yesterday, and you're competing against someone else. Now, not in an ugly way, but I'm telling you.
Healthy competition.
You're trying to book artists.
Come on. And there's always someone who's practicing more than you, that's studying more than you. You better believe it. While you're complaining, they're out there getting better.
Yeah. Well, good stuff there. All right, I feel much better. Coming up next, a question about saving for retirement or future education. We'll break that down. This is The Ramsey Show. Taking your questions about life, specifically your money, your work, your relationships. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by Jade Warshaw. And you've probably heard the words inflation and layoffs and recession and blah, 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 all over the place, used as what I like to call negative bombs, just to get your attention so you'll watch the TV a little bit more. The truth is, you can't control what's going on in the White House, but you can control what's going on at your house. I'd love for you to think about and actually join me, Dave Ramsey, Rachel Cruz, Dr. John Deloney, Jade Warshaw, and Chris. No, you're shaking your head? Why are you shaking your head?
I don't know if I'm going to be part of this one.
All right, never mind. That's news to me. I'm making stuff up. It's not in the copy.
Wait, no. You're right.
What are you doing? I've been married almost 25 years. If I start seeing someone and a woman next to me shakes her head, I can't concentrate.
Well, Ken, you
I thought
me
I was
out.
saying nothing wrong. I'm saying something wrong.
No. Keep going.
Building
this
wealth.
is good.
You are going to be there. All right?
I'll be there.
All right. You're going to be there. It's going to be fun. Here's the deal. We want you to check out the website, RamseySolutions.com/events, for our continuing event series. The tour is Building Wealth. It's going to be in Nashville here at our, I believe, here at our headquarters.
That's right.
It's going to be fantastic. January the 12th. Whew, thank God you said that was right.
That's right, Ken.
Indianapolis, Indiana on February 16th.
I'll be
Austin,
there.
Texas. Oh, now you're there. Would you pipe down, please? Austin, Texas, February 23rd. Salt Lake City. I'm going to pay for that one later. Salt Lake City, Utah, April the 24th. Anaheim, California, May 2nd. And this is a wonderful event. We're going to teach you how to inflation-proof your money, build lasting wealth, and invest wisely. General admission passes start at just $49. Don't wait. They will sell out. All of our fall Building Wealth events did sell out, and these will too. Again, go to RamseySolutions.com/events. That's RamseySolutions.com/events. Are we on the docket together? Are we in any cities? What cities are you in?
We're going to be in Indianapolis and Austin together.
Oh, okay. Very nice.
Yeah.
No, actually, I'm in Austin and Anaheim.
Oh.
So you and I will be together in Austin.
Okay,
that'll be fun. Okay, very good.
It's good.
All right. Well, we'll get our schedules figured out on the break, but the great news is we are here for you. Let's get to the phones. 888-825-5225 is the phone number. Hannah is up in Ogden, Utah. Hannah, how can we help?
Hi, how are you?
We're having
doing
a
good.
blast. What's going on?
So I'm a long-time listener. I've been listening since probably before I can remember. My dad really likes Dave Ramsey and has encouraged me and my siblings through the baby steps, and I've done that.
Good for you.
I am 26 years old. I'm debt-free except for my mortgage.
Sweet.
My husband and I bought our house back in January of 2021, and so where we're at right now is I'm making enough money that he's going and doing a career change. He's working part-time and getting his education so he can do this career change and make more money.
Okay.
I'm contributing I'm maxing out my retirement at the company that I'm working with right now.
Okay.
And my question is, because I would eventually like to not change careers, but go and get further education in my industry. And so my question is do I keep putting the money into the retirement fund, or should I take it out and invest it in a different way? Because I know we're probably going to have to move.
What's the education? What's the education that you're pursuing, and what do you think the ROI is, and then what is it going to cost? So that's a 3-part question.
Mm-hmm.
So the education that I'm looking for will be I work in compliance, and so it will be a master's degree in environmental compliance type setting.
Okay.
The way that the industry works, it is set up that a master's degree is required to, it makes it easier to climb up to certain levels. So there would definitely be a return on investment. And then the company that I'm working with right now also has, they will help pay.
So what would be your cost? What would be your cost to get this master's?
My cost to get this master would be our living expenses. I would take a cut on my income at the time because working full time and doing a master's degree would be, like, I know who I am. I know people who can do that, but I can't. So there'd be a little bit of a cut in income. Would probably have to move to be closer to the school that I want to go to. And
how much?
Dollar wise, how much is it going to cost? Like per semester?
Per semester, about $6,000 per semester before any assistance from
but see,
grants
you're making it too complex. What is your out-of-pocket total? Not per semester. Total.
Total. Okay. Probably $20,000.
Okay, that's our number. So I just wanted to give that to Jade.
Yeah.
It's $20,000. Now before I give it to you on the money piece, I do want to cover this. The school I want to go to. That's a very concerning phrase.
I agree.
Hannah, nobody, and I mean nobody, gives a crap where you get your master's. You just got to get the master's.
Yep.
And it feels like to me we're adding extra hoops to jump through when we're considering selling a house, moving somewhere to go to a school that I want to. I'm going to challenge you on that, and you don't have to respond because I'm not trying to put you on tilt, but I just want you to know nobody cares. The last time you went to the doctor, you didn't ask the doctor where he went to med school or she went to med school.
Right.
So I'll just leave it at that, Jade. But now we know we got $20,000 she's got to save for to cash flow the master.
And this is for the entire year?
That's the total.
That's for 2 years. That's the total.
She needs $20,000 total.
Oh my goodness! You can cash flow this.
Yeah.
What's your income right now?
My income right now is $60,000 a year, and then, like I mentioned, my husband is working on a career change that'll be done probably in the next 6 months or so, and so he'll be making equivalent to that as well.
So are you asking about the investing question because you feel like it's going to take you longer? Can you keep investing as we teach and still get the 20 saved up, or is it going to take a really long time?
I mean, that's $833 a month. If we just broke that out over 2 years, you got $833 a month that you need to save. Let's work it backwards. What do we need to do? Because if you don't have that money yet to start this coming semester, that's okay. The house is not on fire. What do we need to do to make this scenario true for you, to where you're saving up that kind of money so that you can cash flow this and actually make it work out?
And not stop saving for retirement. Because I did want to ask you more about that. But I mean, I know that you're maxing out your 401k, but we really want to get you to the 15%. So if you're not at 15%, we want you to get there. And then we can start working on what does it look like to be able to pay
for this as we go, you know?
Okay.
And I think that you can. I think if you find the right school that's within your budget, because again, Ken gave great advice about making sure that we're not just, choosing a school based on the name or based on what quote they say, but picking a school that's actually in line with your budget so you can get this master's. And the 20,000 number that gets you to $833 a month, but maybe there's something out there that you can do that's less expensive. I don't know. Is there online options that are less expensive? I know there's something out there that's going to work for you. It's just a matter of turning enough door handles until you find the one that's got the prize behind it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you feel that you can keep investing as Jade instructed and save up for the master's program?
It'll be a little bit easier once the career change for my partner comes to fruition.
All right. Well, be patient. Be patient.
I'm not in a hurry.
Beautiful. Be patient. So I think, Jade, what you and I are saying is don't interrupt the investing. I don't think it's necessary.
No, let her husband finish his career shift.
Yep.
And then let him get stable, let the income kind of, let everything settle out. And then we start the journey. And during that time, you're researching, right? We're not just sitting around. You're researching what your situation is going to look like, and you're starting to plan out and plot that forward. And then when he's done, then it's your turn, and you guys work the plan. You guys are smart. You're very smart. You've made great choices up until this point. I love that you said that you're not in a hurry. You guys got what it takes to win.
Absolutely. Keep investing. And Jade's right. The full 15%. You're going to love her for that advice many, many years from now. So keep it up. Jade Warshaw, always fun to be with you, my friend. Great hour. I want to thank James and the Hardy fellas behind the glass for keeping us on the air. I want to thank you, America, for listening. This is your show. This is The Ramsey Show.
Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio, this is The Ramsey Show. It's where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life, specifically your money life, your work life, your relationship life. Those three areas are inextricably connected, and I'm telling you, if you're losing in one of them, you're going to end up losing in all of them. You cannot separate those areas. So we're here to help you with clarity and next steps so that you have hope to get the transformation you're looking for. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Jade Warshaw. She's just all sorts of fabulous in all caps. Our newest Ramsey personality. You need to follow her on Instagram at Jade Warshaw. Don't forget the H. It's not Warsaw, it's Warshaw.
That's right.
I just love the sh part. Warshaw.
It used to be Warshawski.
Really?
But it was cut short.
No kidding.
Yeah, I learned that.
All right, great.
I mean, it's my husband's name, but
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll talk about that in the area over there. But hey, there's a number to jump in if you'd like. It's toll free 888-825-5225 888-825-5225. 225. Let's go to the Big Apple, New York City, New York. Josh is on the line. Josh, how can we help?
Hey, good afternoon, guys. So nice to get on the air. First and foremost, I want to just thank you all. Follow the baby steps, and I'm officially debt-free.
Hey!
Working on baby steps.
Nice.
6 and 7.
Come on.
So my question is kind of a interesting, a positive dilemma. So I've been with my company now for 4 years. I've been going in during the pandemic, love what I do. I work in human resources, and I recently was tapped on the shoulder by leadership to take on a director-level role. The role is going to be remote. I've been going in. I've never worked remotely. And my question really is pretty simple. It is, I know, Dave and you guys talk about remote workers and kind of an economy now, first ones to go. My company doesn't have any indication of any layoffs, but just kind of wanted some advice on that. It's a great opportunity. It's going to essentially close to double my salary and, put myself in the financial freedom for myself and my 6-month-old daughter. And her financial future. So I just wanted to know your advice on kind of working from home, jumping into that, especially in the economy we have now. And what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, the work from home is not the biggest issue here, and I'll get to that and explain that in a second. The question is, what makes this a great opportunity beyond the fact that it's a big financial bump?
Added responsibility and really be able to influence folks. Like I said, I work in human resources, and I have a passion for people and building them up. And this will really help me create the programs I want with a much better, bigger seat at the table. So you really love the work or really enjoy it? I do.
Yeah. Does it produce results that motivate you?
It does.
All right. Check. So that leads us to, so first of all, that's what I would call the sweet spot. Like, is this the sweet spot for you? Feels like it is. And it feels like it's also the right ladder for you. This is going to provide you an opportunity to keep climbing, yes or no?
I would say yes.
Great.
Definitely Great. Over years, 100%.
So this has got all of the check marks that I want to see, because I don't ever want anybody to make a move just for money, because that wears off pretty quickly. And I love that it's got a ladder for you. That's really, really good. So this gets back to the remote piece. Are they requiring you to work remote, or is it just one of those classifications where this is a remote job? I mean, how's that being discussed from leadership to you about the nature of the remote work?
So I think based on how the position is, it's more of the reason for remote is it has travel involved. So, I'll be traveling to different areas around the country where the locations of the company are.
Great. So you're actually not remote. You're going to be with people most of the time, in front of them, yes or no?
Yes, don't have the exact details on how much. It's about 20 to 30% travel. So I won't say all the time, but definitely a good chunk, yes.
Okay, so that's the good thing, because I could just tell you're a dude who loves being around people, right?
I do.
All right, that's the only red flag here, is how much time are you going to be around people? And so we understand you can get the details on this. How much they expect you to travel. Obviously, when you're traveling to be around other offices, you're going to be around people. But when you're not traveling and you're at your base, presumably in New York City or the surrounding areas, what's that look like? And would they allow you to come in and work in the office? Do they have an office location?
They do. I haven't asked that question.
Ask.
That's a, yeah.
Yes.
I didn't even think of it that way.
Here's what this is going to turn into. You've got to find the balance between flexibility and autonomy, which is what the remote job implies, when you're not traveling. So we've got, let's just make this up. Let's say 20% of the time you're traveling. And so that leaves us 80%. So of the 80% when you're not traveling, using this just example, then you go, okay, well, could I come in 40, 50, 60, 70% of the time? I don't need an office, but is there a place where I could work, where I could be around people? You have to answer the question, how much do you need to be around people? And I can just tell you, some people are cut out for remote work. Some people are not. And I think you have to determine what are the negatives to not being around people, Jade. And you and I are both, well, I shouldn't say that. I'm a people person. I don't do well alone. When my wife and kids go out of town, I'm just a disaster.
Oh, yeah. Not only that, but some people struggle with the remote work because it's all on you to make sure that you're getting your things done.
That's right.
That you're putting those systems in place. I came from remote work. I used to work from home.
Do you do well with it?
I do.
Do you have a preference?
I really enjoyed working from home, but the drawback on that is your home. Even if you have a home office, your home becomes your place of work. And so it makes it very hard to turn off, number one, and then you've got all the distractions. Yeah. But, I can do both of them, but I do think if you can have a dedicated place that you're going into.
Yeah. So how does it feel, Josh? Because when you called, you wanted advice. Should I do this? And when I get a question like this, I just know you already had an idea. Which way were you leaning before you called?
I think I was leaning towards kind of the remote piece, right? Giving this new opportunity, but you guys gave me some great advice in terms of asking the questions of,
I don't see any reason why you wouldn't do it. The only red flag is your soul, right? You're a people person. So you know what? You're going to have to just mitigate for that. And you can do that. You can figure that out. If they'll let you come to the office some and hang around, great. Or make sure that you have some friend lunches built in, something like that. Hang out with some dudes every Thursday. We're gonna get together after work and watch Thursday night football or what. Come up with some rhythms so that you have that personal connection. I think that's the only thing I'd be watching out for. Jay.
Yeah, you can get isolated fast. My husband works from home, and sometimes he'll take his iPad. He's out there working in the lobby now.
He's watching us right now.
Yeah, he'll go somewhere where there's people. So that
that's the play.
Yeah,
that's the play. Is to do that, to make sure, man, I'm feeling lonely. Yeah. I'm feeling disconnected.
Oh yeah.
And so I need to do something about that. And I think that's the key.
And in any job, you want to find out as much as possible before getting into it. I think that was another thing you highlighted.
Yeah.
Ask the questions.
Yeah. But hey, excited for you, Josh. The best is yet to be. Looks like you got a great track, and I'm really happy for you. Thank you so much for trusting us and calling in. All right. She is the fabulous Jade Warshaw. I'm just Ken, and this is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show, America. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Jade Warshaw. I like how I said that towards the end of the last break. The fabulous Jade Warshaw.
I'll take it.
Yeah, it's true. We're having a blast. 888-825-5225 is the number. 888-825-5225. If you've gone through Financial Peace University, chances are it's because someone in your life told you to do it. Maybe your mom and dad gave it to you as a gift. Maybe your pastor offered it at your church. Or it was just that friend that just kept kind of nudging you. And so you did it. Now you can do that for someone else. This Christmas, give someone Financial Peace University. Share the same hope that you have discovered. Now, when you give Financial Peace University as a gift, they're not going to just get the course. They'll also get the premium version of Every Dollar, the world's greatest budgeting app, and group coaching with our team of financial coaches. Now, that truly is, as Cousin Eddie said in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, that truly is the gift that keeps on giving all year long. There it is.
Ooh.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
All that in a bag of chips,
Yeah,
Ken.
You know what we should have added to this? The one thing that would have made this giveaway, not a giveaway, but this gift for you to give away would be to add a Yule log with FPU carved into the log.
Ken,
that would have been great. Everybody loves a nice Yule log to burn on the fire.
Nobody is doing that.
Yes, I love a good fire. You were at my house the other night.
I was.
We have a gas, an actual wood burning fireplace.
Yeah, and maybe we should have used it because
I'm going to get you. You know what it is?
Struggled with getting that fire pit going for us.
Hey. I'm going to get you a Yule log. All right. So just.
If you give me a Yule log, I'm going to put it,
you're going to burn it is what you're going to do.
I thought it was food.
No. Oh, they've turned it into a dessert. It's an actual piece of wood. It's a tradition. Long-held tradition.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
All this
just
time
look it
I
up.
thought it was a
Just
cake.
Google it.
Okay.
Hey, but if you want to give Financial Peace University away to somebody, we've got you covered. Go to RamseySolutions.com/givefpu. That's RamseySolutions.com/givefpu. There you go. So, a lot of people right now, by the way, it has become a dessert, but it was not a dessert. It's a tradition. So look it up.
Okay.
Speaking of dessert, the team is like feeding their face while we're trying to help America. They're eating behind the
and they know
glass.
how I feel about that. They know that food is the way into my heart. They're killing me back there.
All right, tell you what we're gonna do. Save one, and I'm gonna sample whatever it is in our next segment.
It doesn't look like there's much left.
Well, just hang tight, everybody. All right, let's get to the phones.
Woo.
Aiden is on the line in Charlotte, North Carolina. Aiden, how can we help?
Yes, thank you. So I'll give you a little backstory. First of all, thank you so much for what you guys have done. You've changed my family tree.
Wow.
Back in the day, my dad started FPU, I think, 12 years ago, and now they're doing amazing. I'm I am currently 16 years old, and so still in school, obviously. And my question is, I have a job opportunity that I could go take next week if I wanted to, and didn't know if it's better to just simply drop out of school, start working, get these next few years in early, and then later on get my GED and go from there.
What's the job?
It is, so it's a stone manufacturing company. So like the fake stone that you see on walls and stuff, it's not really fake. It's concrete that's kind of painted, I guess.
Yeah.
And they create those stones.
Is that a job that puts you on a ladder to climb to where you ultimately want to be? My goodness, you're only 16, and I love that you're thinking about this, but where does this put you long term if you were to go now or 2 years from now?
So, yeah. So it would give me just a head start. That is what I'm looking at it from. And yes, I could climb, and there's definitely opportunities for raises and bonuses.
No, I'm not asking about financial. I know, I can
Okay.
hear you, man. You are a 16-year-old kid who's got dollar signs rolling around in your head, and your dad and mom done a great job by teaching you about money. I get that. I'm not talking about financial, because it's indisputable that if a 16-year-old starts working now, you're ahead of every other 16-year-old. I get that. I'm saying, does going in this job at a stone manufacturer, is that your dream? Is that where you want to be?
So not officially, but it would get me closer to where I want to be eventually.
Which is what?
I want to get into business ownership and real estate.
No.
Would be the dream.
Okay, so first of all, Aiden, I love you, man. But and I'm the guy. If there was anybody that ever would say it's okay to drop out of high school, I'm the guy.
Well, I'm the girl, because I'd say it.
It freaks parents out. I'm freaking people out right now. I'm not telling anybody to drop out of high school, but we would not drop out of high school unless we were making such a huge strategic decision that you had to take at the time. And the reason I say that is, and by the way, I think high school, like, I'm the guy that goes, 16 is probably old enough. Let's let him graduate. I would reform and totally redo the education system. I'm not going to get into that, Aiden. That's not why you called. I'm just saying, I'm the guy that would be most willing to give you the advice to do it. In this situation, I would not do it. And here's the reason. You have the financial education. Your mom and dad have done a great job setting you up to win. Your head is on right as far as thinking about the future and finances. But we live in a world still where there is a stigma, and there's stigmas on a lot of stuff. There shouldn't be stigmas, but there is a stigma on the GED.
Yep.
There just is. And in this case, the return on this decision, right? You hear about return on investment. Well, I like to talk about return on a decision. If I decide to do this versus this, I want to know that there's a huge positive return. And I don't think it's positive enough. I'm guessing your mom and dad aren't really thrilled about the idea either.
And the job connection is very
not
loose.
there. You want to own your own business one day, and you want to get into real estate. You know what I think you ought to do, Aiden? I think you ought to stay in school, but I think you need to get hooked up with a real estate professional, maybe a developer, maybe a builder, maybe a world-class real estate agent, and do everything you can with them. If they'll give you a part-time job doing grunt work, do that.
Yep.
If they'll let you shadow them, do that. Because if I know at 16 a direction I want to go, I want to get in proximity, and I'm going to give you an early Christmas present. It's the #1 best-selling book called The Proximity Principle, which says, Aiden, in order to do what Aiden wants to do, he's got to be around people that are doing it and in places where it is happening. My good friend Jade knows this formula. She's used it. It's simply this. The right people plus the right places equals opportunity, Jade.
Absolutely. I've seen it. I've seen it in full effect, Ken. And I think that if Aiden kind of holds his horses here and plays his cards right, like what you're saying, I think he's going to see it work for him too. You know, he's got a lot of time. He's got a lot of time.
But I am so happy to get a call from a 16-year-old who's thinking big, Jade.
Yeah, he's got his head on straight. His parents... See, this is not one of the whiners that we talked about early on.
No.
This kid's got his head on straight. He's willing and ready to work. I love that.
He's a
I
young
love that about
man.
him.
He's a young man.
I almost...
He's not a boy.
Man.
He's
There
a
we go.
man. He's a young man, you know, and because he's thinking big picture, and I love this. But here's the deal for young people listening in. And Jade, you talked about, you live this. When we make a decision, please look at it from every angle.
Oh, yeah,
and
you
it's
got
not
it.
about getting ahead in the now. The decision must be about getting ahead in the next. And he's thinking now. And I love this kid. He's 16, but he's going, well, I just make more money for 2 more years. Well, the negative of that decision outweighs the positive of having more money in his account.
There's this teaching that I heard a while back. I've heard it many times. It's called the 20/20 approach. Yeah. And back in Florida at our church, this couple used to come, Mac and Julie Richard, and their whole thing was parenting. And they used to teach 20/20 parenting, where it's parenting for the 20 minutes or 20 years.
Oh,
and that approach,
that's it.
That approach works in so many other ways. When you're thinking about career, when you're thinking about your money, it's so important to think about the 20/20 approach. Am I making this decision that's going to feel good for the next 20 minutes, that's going to be convenient for the next 20 minutes, or am I thinking about the next 20 years? That's 20/20. Thank you, Mac and Julie Richard.
Wow.
Lake Hills Church, Austin,
She's
Texas.
Jade Warshaw. Now you know why I say she's fabulous. I'm Ken Coleman, and this is The Ramsey Show. Don't move. You are listening to The Ramsey Show, coming to you from our Ramsey Solutions Worldwide HQ in the Nashville, Tennessee area. And the last segment, Jade and I are trying to, by the way, Ken Coleman, Jade Warshaw with you this hour. And the last segment, we're trying to help people and do what we do. This whole show is about helping people win with their money, their work, their relationships, and the guys in the control room passing around a plate of cookies like we're not here. Like, how am I supposed to concentrate and deliver wisdom?
I got my cookie.
So what did you have? You ate yours during the break. Oh, no, you have a morsel left?
I got a morsel left.
What did you? So anyway, they felt guilty, and James sent them in during the break. What did you get?
I got a sugar cookie.
Okay, so look at this guy. So if you're just listening, I've got a chocolate cover. It looks to be like Ritz crackers, and I think I know what this is.
Oh, that's gonna be good.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody's cringing right now that hates the sound of chewing.
I don't care. This is 2 Ritz crackers with some peanut butter and chocolate covered. In other words, this is...
deliciousness.
Oh!
Delectable.
All right, while I finish smacking...
All right.
You know what I love to give away besides cookies?
Oh, food.
Yeah.
You know that's the way to my heart. And with less than 10 days until Christmas, the scramble for last-minute gifts is in full effect. Whether you're short on time, which God knows that's the case, I got kids, or budget, we've got a few DIY gift ideas for you in our newsletter this weekend. Guys, we have a newsletter here that we send out, and you guys need to get involved with that. For example, how about hot chocolate on a stick for your kid's teacher? Or...
Whoa, time out. What is that? How does one do hot chocolate on a stick?
I bet I could figure it out. I bet it's like...
Well, don't withhold. I'm asking you. What is it?
This is the way Jade Warshaw would do it. I would get those pretzel sticks, the long, thick ones, and then I would melt some dark chocolate and dip it in there, and then let it dry, and then I dip it in there again, let it dry where we get a lot of layers on it.
It's too healthy. Nobody wants dark chocolate.
And then at the end, I'm not done yet, Ken. At the end, dip it in peppermint.
Whoa.
And then all you've got to do is get you the hot milk, and not dairy milk, because I got to do the plant-based milk.
Oh, jeez.
And when it's nice and hot, put it in there, and it'll start to melt and make your hot chocolate.
You're entirely too healthy. Nobody wants plant-based milk on their pretzel. I'm just gonna
you would be, you know what? I read a stat that said most people are lactose intolerant and they don't even know it.
Let me tell you, since you're speaking in third person, let me tell you what Ken Coleman would do. Okay, I'd get the same pretzel rod, all right, and I would just swirl it around in some thick white chocolate, baby.
Why's it got to be white chocolate, Ken? Tell me why does it got to be white chocolate?
Oh,
would you let me read this?
Yes.
Okay. For example, how about hot chocolate on a stick for your kid's teacher? Or, I like this one, a photo collage for grandma. Or maybe a basket of farmer's market goodies for your neighbor. That's a good idea. If you're on the hunt for the perfect personalized gift, we've got 15 DIY gift ideas for you in this week's edition of the Ramsey newsletter. So if you're not subscribed, simply sign up at ramseysolutions.com/newsletter to receive the email newsletter on Sunday. Guys, we just solved all your holiday problems just like that. Just like that. We taught you how to make hot chocolate stick.
And while you were doing that, I had the rest of the cookie, cracker, or whatever it was. So it was just
delicious.
Just hey, if you're looking to do something, just combine milk chocolate and peanut butter, and it's going to be okay.
You can eat that straight out the jar. You don't even need to.
I'd eat this pencil. If you put enough chocolate and peanut butter in this pencil, I'd get it down. I promise you that right now. All right, let's go to Pensacola, Florida, where Nicole joins us. Nicole, how can we help?
Hi, Ken. Hi, Jade. So I am just looking for some advice. We cannot currently afford a house where we're living, but we love the location and we love our church and our families here. So we're kind of trying to decide whether we stay with family and save up until we can afford something in Pensacola, or if we should move somewhere a little bit more affordable.
Well, there's a lot to consider here. So the house that you're looking to buy, how long do you think it would take you to save up to be able to purchase the house the way that we teach, which, just to give a quick refresher, that would be a 15-year fixed mortgage where your payment is no more than 25% of your take home. And your payment, that's including all of the insurances, everything, is not more than 25% of your take home pay. So have you done the research? Do you know how long it would take for you to save up to get something with those guidelines?
It would take us probably another year before we would be able to have enough down, I think, to meet those guidelines.
And do you have kids?
Yes, I have 2 kids under 3.
Ooh, 2 kids under 3. Girl, I feel you. What's the relationship like with, and not just your relationship, but your husband, everybody? What's that feel like? A year feels like a long time to me, I'm not going to lie, but some families are different.
It does feel like a long time. Everything. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm listening to you, girl.
Oh, okay. So we are happy where we're at right now. We can stay here for another year while we save up and really get after it. But at the same time, the housing market still kind of feels a little bit crazy in this specific area just because it's close to a Navy base. There's a lot of remote workers that want to stay at the beach. So we haven't felt any type of dip or anything here. Okay. So it just kind of seems really far out before we would be able to find something price-wise that we could handle.
Well, have you, I'm always up for a good adventure. Have you looked around to see? Because, I understand, like, when your family is in one place and your church is there, trust me, I get it. My family just up and moved here to Tennessee. We were in Florida for the past 15 years. Family there, our church is there. That is not easy. I sympathize and empathize with you majorly. But there is something to be said for taking an adventure, especially if the adventure could mean you reaching your goals sooner, if it means you being in the type of house that you want to be in sooner. And the good thing here is, it sounds like, do you guys have the sort of jobs that you can, what's your careers?
So my husband is in the medical field, and his company that he works for, they have been exploding since the pandemic, which I know is not really a good way to say it, but he could move throughout the country. And I am a stay-at-home mom, retired, or not retired, but I was a teacher.
Okay.
And so,
Nicole, I have a question. I'm listening in here, and I have a question because when you set it up the way you set it up, you've got an idea in your mind as to where you could move, where it is more affordable. How far away is that?
I don't know, actually. Well, we kind of talked about moving to North Carolina or down to Miami.
Why North Carolina? Why Miami?
Yeah.
So North Carolina, my husband has some family up there, and Miami, because he could move up in his company a little bit quicker if we moved down there.
Okay, we only have about a minute, so we got to hurry here. How big of a bump would it be if he took the job in Miami?
Yeah, because Miami's expensive.
Yeah.
Probably $20,000, which would put us about medium income down there.
Yeah, it's not enough. It's not enough to base the move.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. It feels like this entire conversation is we got to move somewhere where we can buy a house. And I don't think that's the right motivation. I really don't. And I also think you guys got some more investigation to do. I'm looking at 30 to 45 minute radius of Pensacola, and I'm going to go looking online and go look at real houses. What if we moved just far enough out to where the housing was more affordable, but we could still see family easily and even make that trip to church? Yep. I just think we got to look at that first before we think about North Carolina for the sole reason that he's got family there. That worries me.
Oh, yeah. And I want to make sure she's got the baby steps in line, too. I want to make sure she's done baby step 1, 2, 3, have 3 to 6 months saved, and that you've got 3B in place before you start buying houses out in this piece.
Nicole, let's go look. Let's go see. I like Jade's advice on the adventure. Might just be 45 minutes away. But we can make that sacrifice to get in a house and still be a part of our church family. Love the question. I think you guys need to do some work on this, but you'll get there. Don't move, folks. More of The Ramsey Show right around the corner. Welcome back, America. You are joining the conversation about your life, your money, your work, your relationships here on The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Jade Warshaw. Our scripture of the day comes from Philippians 2, verse 4. Let each of you look not only to his own interest, but also to the interests of others. Our quote from Simon Sinek: the true price of leadership is the willingness to place the needs of others above your own. The phone number to jump in is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Lannis joins us now in Atlanta. Lannis, how can we help?
Hey guys. I was calling to get some advice. I'm at a real crossroads right now about how I should handle some major debts and assets that I have. I have a house that I purchased in 2020. And at the time, I was making more than enough money. I was right at the poverty line, making close to $40,000 at the time. And over the course of a year, last year, I got into accident to where I wasn't able to work at my construction job, where I was earning an income to pay the mortgage and the bills. And I kind of just tried to take a leap of faith, and I got about 3 months worth of living expenses in 2021, and just tried to start my own career as a full-time artist. And that lasted just so long to where I was able to pay my bills and pay my mortgage. And when the money started slowing down, I got lucky and got a settlement check right at the top of the year.
Okay. What'd you do with it?
I blew it. I'd say that fortunately I was able to pay off my car note with it. I paid down some credit cards, but
how'd you blow it? What do you mean by that?
So I went on a lot of vacations this year. A lot of vacations this year. I I had been dealing with a breakup.
Okay, Lannis.
I tried to fill the void.
Lannis. All right, bud.
Mama Jade trying to go off right now.
All right, buddy. Yeah. All right, we gotta deal with this thing head on. I'm gonna put you through the ringer here for a minute. I'm gonna ask you some questions because I want to see what's really going on. And I know you're a little bit in your feelings right now. I can tell. So I'm just gonna cut to the chase. How much money are you earning now?
I'm earning about maybe 16 an hour, so that's.
And this is steady. This is steady work.
Yes.
So what's your?
I'm only bringing in about $2,400 a month.
Okay. Thing one, this is just top drawer right here. We got to increase the income, and we're gonna come back to that. But that in your mind right now, that's thing one. Yep. Next thing. How much, I want to know your total debt, not with the mortgage, but just your total debt that you've got on your plate right now.
So I have about $18,000 in debt. I also have almost $20,000 in student loan debt on top of it.
Okay. So we're looking at 38. All right. And that's it. That's all the debt in the world besides the mortgage?
Yes.
Okay. So here's what I want you to do. Thing one is we want to get that income up, okay? Because you got a little bit of an issue here and you've got debt and we need a bigger shovel to help clean it up faster. And it kind of feels like your income right now is also not stable. Is that true? Is this
very true?
Okay. Are you
Okay.
back in construction?
No, I'm not. I recently was just scrummaging trying to find anyone who was hiring, so I'm working warehouse support right now.
First of all, there's no shame in your game
know, that's
for at least getting back, all right? But what I'm asking is are you physically able to get back into the construction work you were in before, and does it pay much better?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Then let's go.
Yeah, let's game
and
on.
And by the way, I'm going to give it back to Jade. She's going to walk you through this, but I'm going to tell you right now, you're working 2-3 jobs.
Yes.
You've already vacated enough after the breakup, my man. All right? Now
Yeah.
it's time to work 2 and 3 jobs. We're talking 60 hours a week because,
Yeah.
Jade, he can do this.
Oh, you can do this.
If he increases his income.
Lannis, I need you to get on a budget. That's thing one, because it sounds like right now you're just spending. You're just out here living what you thought was your best life, turning out to be your worst life. And you need to get control of the money that you do have and make sure that you're telling every cent where to go because you've got a mess to clean up here. So I want you to walk through the baby steps. The baby steps. Step one, I need you to have $1,000 saved. Do you have any money saved?
No.
Okay, we're going to get $1,000 saved right away. I don't care. Sell something, do whatever you have to do, but get that $1,000 saved. And we are not touching that, Lannis, unless it's an emergency. And I can tell you what's not an emergency. Going on a trip to the Caribbean, that is not an emergency, okay? Taking a girl out to dinner, not an emergency. Get that $1,000 saved. And then I want you going into baby step 2, only after you've got that $1,000 saved. And I want you paying off every single cent of debt except that mortgage using the debt snowball. I'm going to explain that to you. Debt snowball, you're going to list all of your debts. It sounds like you got 2 here from smallest to largest, and we're going to make minimum payments on both of them, but any and all money that you can find, because remember, we're working 60, 80 hours a week right now. So all of that extra money is going to the smallest debt. You're going to knock it out. You got to move quick with this, Lannis. I feel like you're a little bit, wacky wavy right now, but you got to get laser focused and get this debt cleaned up. And then after that, we're moving on to baby steps 3, getting 3 to 6 months. And I'm going to hold off right there because I don't want to overload you, but I do want to make sure that you get into Financial Peace University, okay? Because that's what's going to walk you through this for the long haul. So my guy over there, Austin, he's going to talk to you after the call, and he's going to make sure you get Financial Peace University. And in the meantime, step 2. So step 1 is we're getting solid work. We're working. Step 2, get that budget, okay? I want you to start your budget. I want you to go online, write this down, everydollar.com. And I want you to download that today. This is how you're going to get your budget. And I'm telling you, this is so easy. It's going to walk you through exactly what to do so that you can plan out, Lannis, how you're spending your money. Because that's going to help you see. You might have, you might look at that budget tonight and be like, oh my God, like every month I'm going over. Are you using credit cards right now?
Credit cards are maxed out. They're cut up.
Okay, we're cut them up. Don't get any more because we see that's not working for you, okay? If we want different results, we're going to have to do something different. And today is your wake-up call. How old are you?
I just turned 28.
28. Okay,
Lannis.
you got time, buddy.
You do. Lannis, you got another lady, or you still single?
I do have a lady. Me and my lady got back together, but I'm more focused on my son. I got an 8-year-old son.
Okay, there's your why. There's your why right there.
Yeah. So
I got to make sure I'm making him proud, and he doesn't see me struggling.
Well, first of all, you make him proud just by being dad. All right. So these financial decisions that you've made, they do not define you, my friend. And I just want to make sure that you're focusing right now on this financial path that Jade laid out for you, and not trying to salve your relationship wounds. I'm glad you and the lady are back together. But let me tell you something. She better be on board with this.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
Because if she's not,
she's holding you back.
I am promising you. So we got to, and I'm not trying to get in your relationship because you didn't ask, but I am saying that 8-year-old son, it's not about making him proud because of who you are. It's being able to take care of him and provide for him and teach him through the journey you're about ready to go all in on. Yeah. I mean, all in. Are you willing to go all in, Lannis, like Jade has challenged you to do?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, dude, I mean, you need some juice, man.
Yeah,
you need to start acting and talking and sounding like a guy who's got an 8-year-old boy that he wants to take care of, that he can take care of, and then get your back straight a little bit.
Come on, this is the locker room talk.
There's no shame in your game, Lannis.
Come on.
Now, Lannis, I'm going to ask you one more time. Are you willing to do what Jade has laid out for you to do?
Absolutely.
All right, we putting our hands in the center.
Got some juice now. He's got some juice.
He got the juice. He can do this.
That 8-year-old boy, man, I'd have a picture of him everywhere I go.
Put it in the wallet.
Gonna take care of my boy. I love it. Jade Warshaw, that was fun.
It was fun.
All right, you'll come back. You'll do it again with me?
Come on, let's do it.
All right, very good. I want to thank James and the crew for taking good care of us. I want to thank you, America, for being with us. This is your show. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from The Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts.